go. Unbelievable.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Week 18 edition of the Fantasizers podcast. Claps all around, boys. Claps around. Claps around. What a great season we've had so far. Fantasy done. I didn't do well personally, but I don't want to talk about it. But I have to send it to my co-host Christopher Michael, who gets a proper introduction this week, unlike last week. Chris, dude, take it away.
Hey man, I appreciate that introduction. Finally, but before I introduce the other couple that we have here, Josh, let's talk about your fantasy season and how that went. How did it play out for you?
My team went downhill when DeAndre Swift went down. So, if he was healthy, if he could, keep it up, I think I would have won it all. But
would you say that your team went downhill pretty swiftly?
It did, yeah. And that was good. Good job.
That was a good one. I like that one.
It was good.
Hollywood. And Hollywood from the corner, and we also got Goatee Guru. Goatee.
Yeah, Josh, what place did you finish in the league?
Towards the bottom. It doesn't matter.
On the bottom?
No, just down there somewhere. It was, below average.
It was bad. It was. I've never seen a team drop so quickly at the end of the season as yours did, and it's too bad.
Great fall.
Yeah, it really was. A good fantasy owner doesn't allow one player to allow something like that to happen to a team.
Well, I'd like to, my three running backs were Swift, James Robinson, and Miles Sanders, who literally all died. I'm pretty sure they all died.
Who I think were like either the top 3 draft picks you had or 3 of the first 4, one of the 2.
Yeah, well, hey, you win some, you lose some, you come in last in some, you know what I mean? And then you just come in some. So it is, it is what it is.
Well, you had mentioned fantasy, so I kind of wanted to roll off that. Sure, no problem, absolutely. Anytime, I'm there for you, as always. But let's talk about football, huh? Let's talk about Week 17. It's just very strange that we're not done. We have one more week left, right? It feels very weird as a football guy to see Week 18 on the schedule. I don't know about you guys, but it is just I'm still mind boggled by that. But it's awesome because it's more football.
It's more football, which absolutely. But I like the way that it's set up. It's got a lot of implications this week. We have for the most part, we have the divisional matchups this week across the board, and a lot of them have big implications. I know personally the Niners have to win, and if they don't win, we need New Orleans to go down, and they're playing Atlanta, which I don't feel real confident with, even though Atlanta beat them the first time around. But there's just a whole lot going on. But did you guys see that if Jacksonville was to take the Colts down, if the Jacksonville Jaguars took the Colts down, then the Chargers and Raiders game, they could just kneel on the ball the whole game and both of them make the playoffs?
I saw that. Yeah. All they need is they can tie, and they're in. They're both in.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Week 18's got a lot of good matchups and a lot on the line.
Like you said, and it seems like the AFC is it's kind of funny how it's kind of changed from season to season, but it seemed like over the last few years, the AFC has always been the one that has the 11-5 wild card teams, right? The the 10-6 wild card teams, where the NFC seems to get the 8 and 8ers, in
That's
right.
because
The
you have
nine.
teams like the Giants that play in
Okay,
that,
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
and
But this year's kind of a little different. Looking at least looking at the ones that are still able to make the playoffs in the AFC this year. It's kind of funny how it works. But hey, week 17, some notables here, right? So Big Ben, we kind of talked about it. Our betting man Brandon said it, and I think we were all on board with it that Big Ben is not going to lose in his last home game, right? I mean,
It was a
no
it
way.
was a it was a great bet by Brandon. I gotta say he called that and he was confident. He was really confident, and sure enough, he's he's very smart at calling the storylines, and he knows that the NFL is all about storylines and knowing it. And there he
called
is,
he
Brandon Lee.
called the
We're giving you props
he
for your
went
Steelers.
away from taking the Bears over the Giants to take that game too.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, Brandon.
Had a good feeling about him.
Yeah, it was a good call, man. Good call. Welcome in, Brandon Lee, from the other corner, way up in Pittsburgh. There, right?
How many corners do we have?
Big win there, Big Ben there, huh? All right, so moving on from there. Hey, how about this? Rams get a win over Baltimore. That's a big time hurt for Baltimore. Big time hurt. They needed to pull that one at. They need that bad, but the Rams. I don't know about you guys. I didn't really like what I saw in the Rams that game. I've been liking what I've seen as of late, but I don't know. I don't
They can
like.
continue to put things on film that you don't like this week, because I could really use the Niners extending their streak to 6 games over the Rams.
I didn't like what I saw out of Antonio Brown.
What? He's got abs.
The man
I
looks
I
good
loved
without a
every
shirt
bit
on,
of it.
doesn't he? He looks real good.
Okay, is this turning into the other fantasy?
So let's let's talk about that. How about that? Tampa Bay over the Jets. Why would we ever have to talk about that big win for Tampa Bay, that big comeback for Tampa Bay over a pathetic New York Jet football team?
Yeah, I mean, it was scary. I was actually I was nervous for the Bucks, but once they got once they got Psycho out of there, they
It's kind of funny
started,
though.
they started
The
going.
Bucks look like a whole different team without Godwin,
Yeah,
without Fournette. They I know they still got Evans and they still got Gronk. They got weapons. They got 3 tight ends that can play, with Brate and Howard, but I don't know. They don't look right without Godwin, and I feel like Godwin's that glue guy in the offense as far as pass catchers. I mean, I know Fournette doesn't really. I mean, he catches the ball out of the backfield a little bit, but Ronald Jones, Keyshawn Vaughn, they can do that too. So, but Godwin he's the target monster there.
no, I think you're right as far as that glue. That's a good call
Because Godwin's from right there.
they don't look good. Of course. Big Penn Stater over there. Hey, how about this? I'll give Goatee some credit here because I thought Miami had a shot here against Tennessee. I thought they were, looking good. They're a hot team going in, but Goatee, I think he said something along the lines of they are way too physical, too big of a team for Miami, and Miami couldn't handle them.
Yeah, Miami does not have and has not had for a long time a very good offensive line. The Titans have a very strong front seven. Secondary is not so good, but their front seven is pretty solid. I didn't like the matchup, and that's not to say that I'm huge on the Titans. It was more so that I just physicality. You see it with being a fan of the NFC West, and with Brandon Lee in Hollywood here. you see it when teams come to play the teams in the NFC West. They may be better on paper as far as talent level, but the NFC West teams always give them a fight because the NFC West is a physical division. Outside of the Cardinals, they're not very physical except for a select few on their defense. But it's just it's gritty, it's rough. It's not always pretty football, but it works.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's two others that I was looking at and I thought were big games there. The Raiders over Indy. I didn't see that coming, to be honest, and nothing against the Raiders. I think they're quite talented on several aspects, but
They were playing for their playoff lives there.
right, of course. But you would think that the Colts, being in their position they were in and at home, especially, that they would had maybe brought that home, but they did not. So that was a interesting one. And the big Joe Burrow, man, uneffing believable, huh? I mean, this kid.
How about Brandon Lee? I don't think it's going to happen, but how about Brandon Lee's pick on a possible long shot dark horse MVP? Burrow.
Yeah, really.
If he goes deep enough in the playoffs, I think it's a good possibility.
Jamar Chase, for the guy that couldn't catch the ball in training camp, if you've ever watched him play when he played at LSU, there was no question the guy was going to be able to play in the NFL. But all the stuff coming out of camp where he couldn't catch the ball and it didn't have the white lines like college football, so he can't find it in the air. Well, he found it about 12 times for about 266 yards and 3 touchdowns. So I think he can find the ball just fine. Oh, and he set the record for the most receiving yards by a rookie in NFL history. So not just in the single game, but for the season as well.
Yeah, not too bad. It's okay.
He's okay.
Yeah. Unbelievable. No, I thought those were some notables there of week 17. But what I do kind of want to get off track here because I look at another team that is going to the playoffs looking pretty good going into the playoffs, and that's the Green Bay Packers. What's going on? Is Rodgers really going to retire this year? What's the deal? Is this just happening all over again? Just like what happened last year. We throw a little hissy fit. We don't want to work in the off season with the team. I don't know. What's the deal?
Let's say
I don't think he's gonna retire, but I don't think he's gonna be a Packer either.
Well, I will tell you this right now.
I think he still plays at least another 2 years.
If you're a Green Bay Packer fan, you better hope 2 things. 1, you better hope that Aaron Rodgers comes back. And 2, you better hope he comes back and plays for the Packers. Because if he doesn't, I know there's a talk that Davante Adams is going to get franchised. I will almost promise you that if Davante Adams gets franchised and Aaron Rodgers goes elsewhere or retires, Adams will hold out and probably hold out until he gets traded.
Well, that is going to be an interesting offseason for that organization. Once again. Or maybe they do this on purpose because everybody watches Green Bay and is, maybe, they just want that, off season where everybody's watching them and looking at them and they're making money. I don't know. Just a thought.
Everybody's focused on Aaron Rodgers and what he's going to do. So, the scouting team can go around and film everybody's practices. And oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about Bill Belichick for a minute.
That's right. All right. So the last thing. How about Arizona knocking off Dallas in Dallas? After a lot of talk about, their quarterback, isn't that good? And, is it the future in Arizona? I mean, what's up there, huh? A big win.
I kind of like that because I last minute threw money on the Cardinals there for that game, so that was it was good for my pockets. Better for my heart because the Cowboys lost.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was. I was happy to see that, and I don't know, like Dallas is good, but I don't believe in them to be Super Bowl contenders. I don't, truthfully, and it's not me hating on them. It's just I don't think I've ever seen them as a Super Bowl contender, and so it's not going to change until they prove it. And I don't
So
think it,
I going back to the original question, I don't think I know the media can put things out there, but I don't think there was ever a question. People know that Kyler Murray's the future in Arizona. Is he a prototypical quarterback? Absolutely not. Is he much more polished as a passer than most running quarterbacks? Yeah. But I think the thing that you saw, Arizona had to learn to play without DeAndre Hopkins. You know, DeAndre Hopkins is such a focal point in that offense that when you take him away, very much like you take away a Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers has done it countless times. He knows how to play the game without his star. Kyler Murray, he's a younger quarterback, man. I mean, he's got to learn to be able to get through a game and manage a game at times, and not just be able to rely on the guy that you can throw it up to with your eyes closed and he'll come down with the ball. So I think that's part of it. They didn't have James Conner this past game, and Chase Edmonds stepped in. And like I mentioned in a previous segment, for all those listening, Chase Edmonds had the chance to be a league winner for you. That guy came to play.
Yeah, that's
he
for
did.
sure.
He certainly did. That is going to do it for our intro. We are going to come back after this short break, and we're gonna hear about our picks. We're going to hear about how we did. I think I'm going to be happy, but we're going to find out after this.
Think you're going to be happy. Your team, or the team you picked, won by like 50.
Hollywood timer. Did you time that?
I did, but I don't need to stop it.
No.
Oh, but for segments you do.
I'm not going to make that. I'm not going to make the opening. I'm not going to break that out.
Oh yeah, right. I got you. Yeah, that's true.
But
So-
I will say real quick. I think you guys have a better chance of Brett Favre coming back to play in the NFL than
Ooh.
Aaron Rodgers leaving the Packers.
Oh, then leaving the back.
Leaving the back.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Do we have a better chance of Brett Favre coming back in the NFL than Russell Wilson staying with the Seahawks?
He is going to be a G-man.
I think this game against the Cardinals on Sunday is
His farewell.
that's a big part of, does he stay or does he go?
Should he stay or should he go?
Because I mean, the last game that we just played against
Blue.
the team, Blue, albeit it's blue. I mean, that was a heck of a game. And DK Metcalf, 3 touchdowns, and finally getting worked into that offense. I mean, you know, I think that shows that there's some chemistry there. Honestly, Rashad Penny, let's go. You know, finally playing to his potential a little bit.
Against Blue.
You know. Still, I mean,
he's
Didn't-
looked
didn't
pretty
we-
good the last 3 weeks or so.
yeah. And didn't we talk about the fact that Blue has lost a lot of really close games, meaning that they're playing pretty good football, just not good enough? I mean,
I actually don't
the
think that they're a bad
quarterback
team.
is Jared Goff. So.
I really don't think that they're a bad
Tim
team.
Boyle.
I don't think that they're a bad team. I think their record is a lot worse than that team actually is skill wise. I think they're pretty solid actually.
Who, Blue
So-
or Seattle?
Blue. Seattle is atrocious. Oh my god, it is just.
Going to Rodgers though, the
Is that
only
the
reason
Kraken or
I
the
think-
Kraken?
The only thing that I think with Rodgers leaving the Packers is I think now that the Steelers need a quarterback, I think there's options for a trade there. So I don't know. I think if he goes anywhere, I think he goes to Pittsburgh.
That's where Russell.
I don't know. I mean they definitely have weapons and stuff, but they have a lot of money tied up in a lot of players already. So I don't
Didn't
know.
he already say?
Money for
Didn't
money.
he? Didn't he already basically say that if Jones is still there, he'll come back?
I think didn't he?
Maybe I didn't. He may
What was
have.
his list prior? What his list last year was Dallas, Denver.
49ers?
No, wasn't the Niners.
I thought it was.
Mm-mm. We were not. on his
Denver
list.
is intriguing.
The
It was
Broncos?
Dallas,
yeah.
Denver.
That's what.
He would
Oh,
get
No, that's
killed
all-
in Denver, though.
Was New England on there?
I thought Carolina was on there.
No. Oh, maybe. I don't remember. I know it was Dallas and Denver, and it was basically all big markets.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Actually, the Giants might have been one of them that were on there too. I don't remember.
I don't know.
But
Who cares? Who cares? We're never gonna be good ever again.
yeah, well, at least you know it.
I'd
You
rather-
have
I'd
two
rather
picks
know
right
it.
now. You got 2 picks in the top 10, top 8 right now.
Wide receiver and running back. You watch.
Don't worry, you guys will draft. You'll draft a receiver that's projected to go in the 3rd round, and you'll take an offensive tackle that played center in college.
All right, we are gonna go into picks. Chris, ready? Wait, are we doing picks again? Oh shoot, I didn't even look for my pick.
Well, yeah, you got 1
yes,
week left.
Yes, Hollywood. Would you?
I gotta look.
Guys, I just want to say that I'm having a lot of fun. This is a good time.
Are you having fun?
So, like I said though, I said Dak win me a big game. Remember I said that last week?
Yes,
Nope,
he
couldn't
did.
do it this week, could he?
No,
he
they
did
haven't.
not play well. He
They
did
did
not play
not.
well.
They have not shown anything.
However, and you've heard me say this all year long on the on my segment. Buda Baker is a monster, and Buda Baker was just totally wrecking that game from every aspect too. In coverage, he nearly had a pick 6 on a screen pass that he just read all the way. He was in the backfield, putting pressure on. I mean, he's that guy. I hate the Cardinals, but Buda Baker is a stud.
I have my pick, and I don't really care, but I have my pick
Some guy named Chandler Jones is pretty good too.
because I don't think I can win.
Are you good? Are you announcing your pick? Right
Wait,
now,
so-
or
What are we gonna do in case of a tie?
that's a
Playoffs.
It goes into playoffs, yeah.
oh yeah. We'll win the playoffs. Okay.
Fair enough.
I think we should actually make
Wait,
a
but-
each one of us make a playoff bracket. And I know it won't be perfect. Nobody will get it perfect unless we literally pick every game, because the way the seedings work, if the 6th seed wins, they would go play the
Well,
whatever.
why don't we do
So-
it the way? Why don't we do it the way, like the NFL game day morning or whatever does it, where before the game starts for that week, you pick them for that week, and then for the next. So that way, we're not trying to. Because the bracket's never going to go right because of the seeding.
Yeah,
You know what
but
I
I
mean?
feel like that's. I mean, we can do that, but I feel like that's going to be.
It's not competition.
You're going to have a lot more of the
More-
same picks.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna have to kind of go a little bit of strategy with. I can't beat this person, so I'll have to go different.
It is what it is. I actually kind of like that better, just because it's not so much competition. Like, oh, you got this many right out of this many. I think it's more just like topic of discussion, and like you say it and you say why, and it is what it is. Anyways, let's go. Let's do game of the week. No, what?
Survivor.
Survivor. All right, and we're back. We are going to go to the boys' Survivor picks with our very own Christopher Michael. Chris, what do we got?
All right, so let's talk about week 17. This is something that has not been done in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, where Hollywood loses his pick. this week. So I'm sorry to you, Hollywood, but it is a big loss because he picked our buddy Johnny over me in our fantasy league. And I pulled it off. I won. Eat it.
You know,
Suck
I need
it.
I have to start checking the weather before I place these bets. This is ridiculous. You know, it gets me every time.
So, sorry, I went overboard there. But anyways, you did lose. Brandon Lee, did you want to chime in?
Yeah, I was gonna say that was you and Johnny. That was a big battle for sixth,
Seventh.
Eighth,
It was a
seventh?
battle
Seventh?
for seventh. Yep.
There it is. Good.
So,
All right.
so it was a big seventh place finish for me this year. Thank you for. I'm glad I let you chime in there. That was great.
You know, the
No
top
worries.
6 teams get paid out, right?
But I bet on you, Brandon. I bet on you.
You did. That was a
And
smart bet.
It was a smart bet because you're the one that put Joshua Dean on the bottom of the league this year. So I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. I tried to tell you I made some good moves this week.
I've been there before. I'll be there again.
Trey, act like you've been there,
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so let's get let me just say this. Everybody else won, Hollywood. Everybody else won in this Survivor week 17. I went with Tampa Bay, of course. No problems there. That was an easy win for them. So that was a win. Josh, you went with New England. That was certainly an easy victory. Goatee, you went with Chicago. Of course, that was an easy win over the Giants because they suck. Brandon Lee, you went with Pittsburgh. You not only went with them in this Survivor League, but you also bet with them this last week, and that's just wins all around in your weekend. So well done. So let's look at the standings going into Week 18, the final week of the season. This is pretty good here, right? So Brandon Lee and myself are at 13 wins and 4 losses. Goatee Guru is 1 game back at 12-5. Josh, you have now been eliminated at 10-6. You are
suck.
done. You are 2 games out. There is 1 game left, so theoretically you have no chance.
Did he finish on the bottom technically in this too? Because Hollywood's got a better win percentage.
No. I don't think you guys understand. I get 2 picks this week to a chance to make my, I don't know. I get a chance. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to take my team that I'm going to take. I'm not going to give it away yet, but then I'm going to also take that Hollywood is going to shave his facial hair but leave a mustache.
Oh. Ooh.
Now, Hollywood, that one's up to you.
Yeah, I like you finishing on the bottom. That
Okay.
yeah. Anywhere you can finish is good, but the bottom.
In case
Can I
everybody's
start
not
can I start taking other sports now?
in case you're not watching our videoed podcast and you're listening to it, Hollywood is sporting what is only known to be the greatest facial hair style known to man, the goatee. Probably couldn't have guessed that by my name, but he is also sporting it and fashionably well.
So
I think mine's coming in.
so
Right on the verge.
So
Right there.
Josh, you're 10-6-1 and you are done, but we will give you a pick this week since technically we are still playing the game.
Okay.
So
Okay.
and then and Hollywood, there's just no words for any of this, but it's you're 1-2. You're 1-2 picking NFL games. You're 1-0 in a bye week. You're 1-0 picking NCAA football game. You're 1-0 picking the Heisman. You're 1-0 picking the CMA Music Award. You're 1-0 picking at the Krakens. Okay, the Krakens. You're 1-0 picking. Are you putting up your Christmas tree? And 1-0 in the box office. You've got that. 1-0 with a Christmas gift guess. So it's good. It's a good percentage.
I feel like his record is basically a segment in itself.
It is. I can't even. I keep on scrolling to the right. You know,
He's
there's
got to be in the
so
running for the
many-
championship.
There's so many damn columns. I can't even. So let's do it, boys. Last week, week 18. Who we picking? I'll start. Unless we want Brandon to start. I think he started last week, right, Brandon? So I'll start this week. You'll start. You'll go after me because it's got to be the top two dogs, right? And then it goes down from there.
Well, I can go.
So, no, please, we'll leave you on the bottom for last. Okay, so I am gonna go with. This is kind of a big pick here. Okay, I'm gonna go with the WTF. I'm sorry, the WFT team, Washington Football Team. I just don't believe in my Giants. I think the Reds. Whoops, almost screwed up there. I think the football team. I think they'll have their way with us, unfortunately. But that's what I'm picking. So, Brandon, what do you got?
I was looking at that game, but I decided I'm going to stay away, and I am going to go with the Indianapolis Colts this week against the Jaguars.
Oh,
Feel like they have to have a bounce back win, especially against Jacksonville.
yeah, that's probably a pretty good, safe pick. But I had already picked them, so I couldn't. Unfortunately, I could not pick them. Let's see. Oh, goatee. Second place. What do you got?
Feel like you both went with a pretty safe pick there. So much for, no risk it, no biscuit. But I also was looking at the Washington football team, but I did not select them because I was actually surprised to find out that I had not selected this team all season long. I thought for sure I had. I am taking the Green Bay Packers over blue. So
even with them sitting all of their
Idiot!
Nah,
I am taking blue.
doesn't matter if they-
I am taking the Lions this week.
doesn't matter if they bring back Matt Flynn to
Do
play.
you
I
guys
don't
care? I'm taking blue. Blue.
So, Josh.
no,
Okay.
no, we don't care.
I'm taking blue,
Okay.
but only
Didn't you already take blue?
No. But I'm taking blue, and the reason I'm taking blue, so that's gonna be a win. And then to get my second win, it's a parlay in the NBA on Sunday. That all rhymed. The Bulls to win, the Warriors to win, and the Grizzlies to win. Book it. That's it. It's a parlay. None of them will lose.
I'm gonna write
Book
this
it.
down, but we'll have to talk about it. I'm sure this is just not going to count. But thank you.
I'm gonna
thanking me for that.
I'm gonna throw another one out there so I can because all of our teams are gonna win this week, unfortunately, I think. So just to get me back in the race because I can't catch you guys if you guys win. So my parlay or my second bet is that Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers will not play in his next game because he's going to go on the COVID list. That's my bet.
Oh.
Don't look at the NHL news. He's not already on the COVID list. I promise.
I'm really not liking you guys kind of stepping on my toes over here with Survivor picks. You know?
Wait, can I Can I do a Hollywood type survivor pick? I think I'm gonna shower over 3 times.
2.5.
until next episode.
I'm
think I'm gonna
gonna pinch
over-
and roll over 5 times during this podcast.
Already beat that.
I'm gonna take down a Christmas tree.
All right, Hollywood, what do you got?
All right. So before I throw out my pick, I have 2 quick things. So first of all, you guys should let Josh pick every NFL game this weekend, and if he gets them all right, he jumps everybody to first place.
Book it. I'm in. Hold on.
But if he gets one wrong, it's done. He's done. 2, you guys need to talk about. We need to talk about this on the break and come back and come to a decision. But final week, all for the season long Survivor race, you guys should have all had to pick teams that are below 500. Everybody should have had to pick teams under 500 just to make it interesting.
I like that actually.
And it doesn't matter if you've picked them before or not. It just has to be a team under 500.
I am picking one under 500.
I kind of like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you're picking against the Giants.
Can I make my picks now?
You make your pick, but before you send it to break, I got one more thing.
So my pick, real quick. So I am betting, because this is first time in history, Week 18 NFL, right? So a lot of talk about NFL records that could possibly be broken because of an extra week, and that's one of my picks. So I am betting that Cooper Kupp breaks the catches record of 149 set by Michael Thomas in 2019. But I'm gonna add on to it to make it a little more interesting for you guys. So that's my bet. But I'm also betting that he does not break the yards receiving record of 1,964 set by Calvin Johnson. So that is my pick, that he breaks the catch record, but not the receiving yard record.
He's playing the Niners in our secondary.
If you
He's gonna
happen to
destroy
find
us.
that, if you happen to find that as a bet there, Hollywood, count me in. I'll double whatever you put.
Let's go. I see. Look at that. I've got 77% betting expert on my side. I am confident.
Just for those that aren't aware, Cooper Kupp, the last time he played against the Niners, went for 11 catches and 122 yards. And now we have a rookie cornerback starting on the outside. So
he only needs 12 catches to get the record, but he needs, I would think it's like 149 yards to break the receiving record. So I don't see that happening.
it's Sean McVay, and they know how close they are. I guarantee you they run like jet touch passes to him just to get him easy completions. I'll almost guarantee that happens.
I'm in.
I might want to take the over on both.
So one more thing here, just because I don't want this to be lost in translation during this podcast. Let's not forget that there was a punishment for the loser of the last place game in the fantasy league that was going to be suggested by our super fan, Party Pete. And Party Pete did put a suggestion out there for our loser, the host, that he wants him to do the one chip challenge on camera. What do you have to say to that there, Mr. Host?
I'm not in last place yet. I gotta get all these picks right. I'm doing research.
No. For the fantasy league. That's what it was, the loser of the last place game.
No, it ain't over till it's over, baby.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over? That's okay. I like spicy things. It's no big deal.
The one chip challenge is going to happen on next week's broadcast. Absolutely.
Tune
So-
in. It's going to be great.
Are we actually allowing Josh to pick these games? Is that what's happening, Hollywood, or is that because he is doing research right now?
I mean, I've I've never seen him study so hard, and I've seen him do prep for the show. I mean, this dude is locked in.
Well, how about Christopher Michael? You sent us to break. Give him some time to work on these, and we closed the show with his final picks.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in on that.
I think we got to get him some water though. It looks like he's really, working up a sweat.
He is.
Yeah. He's,
Headache.
any goatee that
Those
he
are some
had
great
coming
papers.
in, he is successfully nervously pulled out.
Well, all right. We'll do that. Week 18, there it is. I am going with the Washington football team. Josh is going with the Big Blue team, also known as Detroit. He's trying to pick other parlays and games and things like that because he wants to somehow make the playoffs or win this Survivor League, which he's not going to. But we'll let him think that he's working hard over there, thinking about it. Goatee Guru is going with Green Bay. And he's also thinking about Connor McDavid not playing this week. He's betting on it. And he's saying, don't look at the news right now.
Do not.
Correct. Brandon Lee is going with the Colts. Hollywood is going with two things. Cooper Kupp breaks the all-time reception record of 149. However, does not break the yards record at 1964. So there you got it. Week 18 in a nutshell. We'll see what happens. Good luck, boys, to you. And we are gonna go to break quick, and we are going to come out of that break and put your kids to bed because my God, Hollywood's here. Right after this.
Okay.
All right.
My God, Hollywood's here.
My God.
Watch out.
Belschnickel.
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 No need to fear.
Impish.
Impish or admirable?
I've decided that my focus is turning to NBA now. So from now on.
Great. I'm going to get 45 bets a day that he's going to send me.
Actually, I was just about to say, now that I have you, do you want to place one?
Hey Brandon, just tell him drive down the road to the Arundel Mills Mall, and you can place a bet in a casino now in Maryland.
Hey, Chris. Chris.
Yeah, I'm here, right here.
Hey. Do you want to throw 25 on the Atlanta Hawks?
Yes.
Okay, they're underdogs, and they're going against the Sacramento Kings.
So are you setting? What?
Um,
Don't do it.
no, why not? Why would you not?
Look at the injury report.
Oh, is he gone? Trey?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I think Akeem Olajuwon's fine. Oh wait, that's
Is he really? Brent?
What?
Is he really? Chris is doubling down on his bet that he lost.
I haven't paid Josh yet.
So going
He
forward,
tried giving me cash, and I don't accept it. I don't accept
Going
it.
forward, like
I
you
don't
said.
want cash.
I don't
like you said, you're turning your attention to the NBA. I mean, obviously, we've got to follow football through the Super Bowl. But if you're going to turn your attention to the NBA, I'm still going to do football going forward to, through the draft process and all that stuff. But I will tackle the hockey side of it if you want, because I'm pretty certain that I'm probably the person that watches hockey the most out of us. So
I agree.
I can jump in with curling at any time. Also,
I was just going to say, I can tell
apologize.
you
underwater
any
basket
points
weaving.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! Not take the Hawks. They're,
I
they're
actually heard Hollywood
three.
is.
They're
Setting me up.
Well, we didn't do it.
I've actually heard Hollywood's very good at making picks for ultimate frisbee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but COVID's hitting them real hard.
Pinch and roll.
Good
That's
point.
It's an
Good point.
outdoor sport.
And
You're an
Brandon Lee's secretly very good at fencing.
Yeah, I can put a fence up in
Brandon,
you know,
Brandon.
a couple hours.
Brandon.
Yeah, what?
The Nuggets are plus 100, and they're missing Rudy Gobert.
I'll take barbecue sauce on the side.
They're missing Rudy Gobert, Hassan Whiteside.
Sorry, you kind of cut out there.
Take the Nuggets.
What?
Do the Nuggets at plus 100 before it changes.
Careful.
Rudy Gobert is out, Whiteside's out, and Joe Ingles is out, and they're going against the Nuggets. Nuggets
I
are
gotta log into your thing.
Nuggets are plus 100. So
Yeah, but Jokic has COVID right testicle.
no, he doesn't.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn
the
it.
right testicle. He does.
He's in. Chris,
Got bronchitis in
you
his
cool with
knee.
that? 25. You're in on that.
I'm in.
Okay.
I owe it to you.
Okay, Brandon, throw it.
Yeah. I don't know what you said to me.
Nuggets straight up winning 25.
He said Yogi Bear for $25. He's gonna get that picnic basket.
That's a good selection.
Daily double.
That's a good
Nuggets
selection.
in
He usually does come away with the picnic basket.
$500.
No.
It's in.
25? I didn't have that much in my account.
Just the money line.
I'm going to take the Kraken to lose to the Avalanche.
Just money line, Josh.
Avalanche.
They're at plus 100, aren't they? Still
Yeah.
Take the
And
Kraken
how
to
much
lose
is
to
it?
anybody.
25 or 50.
25.
The Kraken to lose to the Devils.
Who do you?
Chris, if it hits, then you don't owe me anything. But if it doesn't hit, then you owe me 50.
Hey,
So
what was I saying? Oh, Goatee. What do they use for? Like, what do you use for a betting site up there? Because it's now legal, right?
It passed, but the 7 apps or whatever that got the rights, 7 doesn't sound right. Maybe it's 12. I forget what it is, but however many of them, it hasn't updated yet. So like if I log into FanDuel Sportsbook, it doesn't show New York still.
when does it?
It's supposed to be any time. It just hasn't done it yet.
Like,
Until then,
Hollywood.
you collect 5%
going-
on all of Jordan's bets.
we're going to Hollywood.
Yeah,
You
you're
just
sac-
know.
You would have been doing really well for a while because I was like up over.
Yeah, you know why you can't cash out? Because it's connected to my PayPal.
What an idiot!
Oh, you dumbass.
Anyway.
You thought you were doing it for yourself.
Um,
That's why he's 77%. He's including my picks. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Brandon's 3 months ahead in his mortgage.
that's right. Yeah. Oh yeah, you didn't hear, Brandon.
Oh yeah, he missed that. Forget it.
I accidentally paid my mortgage twice this month.
humble brag.
All right.
And right after
So
that,
good.
his internet cut out because he didn't pay
That's right,
that.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Powers
I
out.
looked at my account and I'm like, what the fuck? Like what the hell? And then I looked and saw that I did my mortgage twice. So we're good until March, but yeah, no,
All right.
that was not fun. Anyways,
Brandon,
let's
that picture I sent to you is his face frozen. It was on our screen for like 2 minutes, just frozen like that. It was pretty funny.
I kicked out
I
my
was wondering.
router or
I'm looking
something.
at that picture like, all right. I don't really know what they're taking a picture of
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
guess Josh was lifting without a spotter.
That's good. All right.
I'm ready whenever.
Can I talk to you for a second over here, Hollywood?
Yeah.
There we go. And we're back. And we are going to go to that dirty, nasty, silly, sometimes sexy corner with that handsome man, Mr. Hollywood. Handsome Hollywood. Dude, what's going on?
Well, you know me, just hanging out in the corner drinking my Bush NAs.
Bush and A's. I haven't tried one yet.
You have not. I'm glad I didn't take that in their survivor pick.
So here's the thing, and I think I said this last week, was I has to be in your presence because Christopher Michael has some at his place that I was thinking about doing.
Those are mine.
I know, but I'm not going to drink it without you.
Keep your fucking hands off my Bush NAs,
They're-
please.
They're so expensive.
They are pricey.
They're worth it. They're worth it. All right. Hollywood Corner this week. Explicit content ahead. If you didn't already know, you should know. So, as everybody knows, I got 2 segments. I've got a list. I've got a top 10, but we're going to save that for the second part of the segment. The first part of the segment, guys, football's ending. This is the last week, week 18. And then the playoffs, but my team didn't make it, so I could give 2 shits. So I've got 2 options. I could either A, fire that bullet from the chamber into the side of my head, or, figure something else out to do and pass the time until next football season. So I'm going to give everybody a couple things that they can do instead of offing themselves in the off season. So the first thing I'm going to throw out is, guys, Hollywood's Corner, we threw out a ton of movies in lists. So you got football movies that we did. Guys, throw those in, watch them. Enjoy some more football in the off season. Christmas movies. Look, some of those movies that we threw out are good year round, right? A Christmas Story. Fuck that movie, don't watch it. But any other movie that we mentioned, by all means, throw it in there. Christmas Vacation, I will watch that. I told you guys, year round. All right, so those 2 lists right there. Go back, listen, write them down. Enjoy your off season. Now, you've also got some upcoming sports, right? Other than football. We're a huge sports podcast here. We love our sports. One of my personal favorite, golf. What's coming up? Well, you've got the Players. They've moved that up early in the season, right? So the Players is now March 10th through the 13th. Let's go. TPC Sawgrass, Island Green. Josh, I know you're in on that one.
I'm totally in on that one. I fell in love with that tournament when Ricky won it in the playoff.
Yeah.
That was really when I got sucked into that tournament,
That was a good one. And that last day on 17 for Ricky, I mean, he stuffed it on that Sunday pin. That was
crazy. I like a this is dangerous. Oh no, it's good, Roger.
Yep, that was money. That was money. And then of course, you've got a tradition like none other. April 7th through the 10th, the Masters. Let's go.
The best days of the year. They are.
My morning alarm is the Masters theme song. So I wake up with a raging heart on every morning.
That's great. I actually think I'm going to take days off.
I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't.
Might have to.
I also have Jim Nance tied up in my corner, just so I can hear him announce shit, And Hollywood's headed to the bathroom for shit number 3 of the day. I mean,
more fiber.
Yeah. You've also got the PGA Championship
He
in
also
May.
tells Tony Romo to shut up.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So May 19th to the 22nd. So a lot of great tournaments coming up in the golf world. Check them out. If you are not a golf watcher, I suggest you at least watch those 3 tournaments that are coming up. There's a bunch of other great ones, but those are just a couple to definitely tune into. Guys, another big one that I know you're taking days off. Christopher Michael, I'll probably be at your house, hopefully, for the first weekend. You know what I'm talking about. Fucking March Madness.
March Madness, baby.
Oh, yeah.
March 13th through April 4th. Let's go. We're going to do it this year, guys.
Plan it ahead, boys. We're all doing it.
Let's go. Gonzaga Bulldogs. This is our year. I fucking hope. But I just hope that, I'm not even going to put it out there. March Madness, let's go.
Yep.
And then you've obviously got the NHL playoffs, right? Those start in May. I think the last day, or April 29th, is the last day of the regular season. So then you've got the playoffs kicking off. So, tune into that. And then nobody cares about the NBA regular season. But since every team makes the playoffs starting April 12th, tune into that. And you can watch that boring ass shit for a while until, something else better comes along. Josh, I'm sure you're tuning into that, right?
You got the NFL draft right there too, right?
I didn't put that down just because that is football, and we'll definitely talk about that on the podcast as it gets
Fair enough.
closer.
Fair
This is
enough.
just kind of to get you through football. And then also just, go walk around your town, find some people playing dice in corners and see what they're up to. Jump in with them, throw some dice, win some money.
Have a bush NA.
Yeah, pass the time.
That's actually a really fun game though.
It is. Oh, Christopher Michael's having a seizure over there. But I think what he's trying to tell me is NASCAR is a thing too.
The Daytona 500.
Oh, they still do that?
I thought that stopped when Earnhardt.
We're going racing, baby.
Boogity, boogity, boogity.
February 14ish, right around there, whatever that Sunday is, I believe.
All right. We'll see. So you have options. So
Isn't
look,
that Valentine's Day?
Tune in to Groundhog's Day.
there you go.
Isn't that Valentine's Day, the 14th?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Could
Is
be.
that a holiday?
Could be.
That's a holiday.
Could be.
It's a holiday.
That's
Thanks,
yeah.
right?
Get
Seems right. So
get
yeah.
loaded on
Celebrate.
bush NAs over St. Patty's Day.
In case you didn't have enough chocolates during the year, why not grab some more, right?
Yeah, there you go. So look, throw on Logic's song, Don't Kill Yourself, and watch some other sports. It's okay. We'll be here till next year. I promise you that. So don't kill yourself. All right. Now for the list.
Dark.
I like that. That's just how I roll.
Felt like
All right,
it was
and-
kind of uplifting though.
Yeah, I gave you options, right? It's
He's
like
got-
a PSA,
You might have some potential if you wanted to change careers and go into a, life counseling or something.
I've been watching a lot of Tony Robbins. Is that the guy? Big fucking fingers and shit.
The Hulk that literally just says words to people and frightens them to make them do better in life.
Yeah. All right. Now for my list. You guys know what this is all about. So, as everybody's probably found out at this point, the WFT is officially picking their name on February 12th. No, 2nd, right? Well, they've got their list of names and they're all stupid as fuck. So I've got my own list of names and I think, they should definitely listen to these and pick from my 10 because it's better. And then at the end here, I want to hear, some of your guys' ideas. But I'm telling you, mine are all winners right now, for the most part. So, as we discussed on an earlier podcast, as we all know, the Washington football team does not play in Washington. All right. They play in Landover, Maryland. And if anybody's ever been to Landover, Maryland, I'm sorry. But the only way to get there is to take a beltway, a stupid fucking beltway. There's like 3 of them in that area. So that's my first one. Number 10, the Washington Beltways. Because that team just goes round and around and they never move forward. Right? It's fitting. Number 9. I've got 2 names here. You can go with either one. They're both kind of the same. The Washington Landovers or the Washington Marylanders. Because again, they don't play in Washington. Now, I love this one personally for us because we want to get our name out there, right? How about Washington TFPs? Let's go. Guys, we could have a football team.
Well done. Well done.
Right?
He'll never sell. He'll never sell.
Yeah, no. Number 7.
Curse that man.
Number 7, the Washington, not Washingtons. It's not Washington. Washington is in the great Pacific Northwest. Number 6, the Washington corruption. You know,
I like that.
play on kind of the
like that.
politics, the politicians there, right? Number 5, Christopher Michael, I think you're going to like this one. The Washington insurrection. That's a good one?
He doesn't know what that means.
No, okay. Coming up on the year anniversary.
Pass.
Oh, I forgot he had that brain injury a couple weeks ago, so he doesn't know words. Number 4, the Washington Indigenous Americans, or the Washington Braves, because again, they used to be the Boston Braves before they moved to Washington. Number 3, the Washington Racists. Guys, just lean in. Just lean in and embrace it. Number 2, the Washington Paraplegics. Now, I really like this one because your logo could be Joe Theismann, Alex Smith, and RG3. That's perfect. And then, I love it. Josh loves that one. That's a good one, right?
That's dark.
You know what? I might have to move that to number 1. I kind of see it as like a Steelers logo. You know, you got the 3 colors, but you got the three faces up there. Or instead of faces, you just have their broken ass legs. And number 1, guys, the Washington Sentinels. It has to be the Washington Sentinels. We talked about the movie, the Replacements. Let's make it official. The Washington Sentinels. What do you guys think?
They do need a quarterback, right? So Shane Falco, I've heard, is available, just waiting out there. I think he was actually sitting on the side of like a coffee shop on the steps, eating like a pastry the other day. I saw a picture of him online.
Look, I've seen all 3 John Wick movies, and I can guarantee that dude can suit up and be a better quarterback than anyone they've had.
Yep.
I just want to throw it out there. I know what insurrection means, but I live I live closer to Washington D.C. than you do, so I can't talk on any of that. So.
You know, it does not involve taking a blue pill, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, it's not that. Okay.
That's
Yeah, if it lasts for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So, and it's not when a woman gives birth and they have to cut. Anyway,
Right. No.
So, I have a couple for you. And if you saw the post or the announcement that they were going to announce on February 2nd, I believe it was, they said that the name it wasn't one of the early favorites, but it has to do with their history, right? Has to do with their history. And it's going to be Proud History. So that made me believe that there was only 2 possible names. Only 2 possibilities. Number 1, the Washington Georges, right? What else? I mean, it's George Washington, right? So they come out, their new helmets, they'll still have the
Just a
red
picture
or
of
whatever,
George
and they just have
and
like and they have like the
I
old
wasn't
British
really sure
wigs
where you were
off the
going with
top.
that, but I get it. I gotcha.
Just have
It's
the old
George.
British.
It's George from Seinfeld.
Yeah. So then the second name that makes sense if we're doing it off of history, I don't think he has anything to do with Washington, D.C., but the Washington PB&Js. Because George Washington Carver, he found all the uses for peanut oil and stuff, right? So I could get behind it. Their color is almost like the jelly that's on my PB&J. So
I love how you really dove into that and really got deep. And
yeah,
when you said going into history and not really the second name not really kind of relating to DC itself, I kind of was like, oh, I bet he's talking about Carver. So yeah, no, I like it. It's that's some good ones.
I got one
All right, Christopher Michael, let's hear it.
because Washington's full of these people. Washington snowflakes.
Yep,
Are you
I
not,
like
you're
it.
not comment?
All right.
You know,
Right.
no comment.
The Washington commies. Oh no,
Oh boy.
Oh, we're getting off.
Siri, I didn't say that.
Here we go. Here.
See, I only had one. I thought it was pretty good. The Washington Monument toll shits.
Mental shits. That's good. Well,
Thank
I think that's the stadium they play in.
I like alliteration, so I went with a couple. The Washington Wiggle Worms, just because it really flows off the tongue. So, and then this one brought me back. We were talking about Brett Favre a little bit.
Can somebody say it like John Madden, just in memory of him? Brett Favre. Brett Favre.
Brett Favre is no. We were talking about him anyway, so it made me think. But the Washington Wranglers, and then they're just sponsored by the Wrangler jeans. I think that's U-shaped cut.
That's way too classy for that organization.
U-shaped cut, just doesn't pinch, doesn't cut in. Don't have to worry about it.
Maybe if they wear Wranglers as their uniform, they'll stop breaking their legs.
That's right.
Kidding me?
That's right.
They're if anything, I mean that's too classy. If they're wearing something like, or if they're sponsored by something, it's gonna be something along the lines of like Washington Arizona's.
But then there was one that I kind of like didn't look up, but I was kind of like, what would be kind of a cool name, and this isn't alliteration, but it's the Washington Armada. I kind of like that one. I thought that was all right. So
You said
that-
it in Spanish
yeah.
Fleet.
yeah,
That is on the list. That is on the list
Oh, it
of
is?
potential names. It is, yeah. But I will say that I think if I was going to pick what I think the name is going to actually be, I think it's going to be the Washington Admirals, because as I was telling you guys before we jumped on here, right now, if you go to WashingtonAdmirals.com, you are redirected to the Washington football team official team page. So I think the cat's out of the bag on that one.
I know that they really tried hard for Red Wolves, but apparently there's a college team that owns the rights or something like that. So
I really liked
they couldn't own the name themselves. It couldn't be their own. So
I really like the Washington Monumental shits.
Well, I actually like I goatee. I actually kind of like that. If they go with a team name that they don't own, then that's kind of like harken back to the Redskins name, about
I'm
how
thinking,
it's kind of rooted in.
how about the Washington Grudens?
That was number 11 on my list actually. So,
That's tough.
but yeah, there you have it. Have some fun at home. Come up with some names. Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what you come up with, and yeah.
Boom. You know what? That wasn't too bad. It really wasn't too bad. Hollywood, well done. I love the list. I personally like the Wiggle Worms, but that's just me. Yeah, that was pretty good. Pretty unscathed. But yeah, we are gonna take another break, and then when we come back, we're gonna dive in that fantasy world. We're gonna dive into a little new look type deal here with our goatee guru. Right after this. Good.
The Washington Wallabies,
Ooh.
the Washington Weightlifters, and Christopher Michael's face is the logo.
So I was trying to come up with names, whatever, and seriously, and this was earlier today. That was the only thing I could come up with, and that's why I used it in our group text messages because I'm like, oh, let's see if these guys like how I use it, and if it comes off okay to them, I'll use it in the podcast.
What was it? I didn't see.
Snowflakes.
Oh, the snowflakes. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
The Washington Wiffle Ballers.
Wiffle ballers.
Wiffle.
So you think it's Admirals, huh? That
Yeah,
honest-
I mean that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What-
mean, it's
what- Is it the same colors? They're going to keep all
no,
that?
no. So apparently, because one of the other top front runners is Red Hogs, because of the stupid
Hawks, right?
Hogs, Hogs, because they've got the
I don't know. That's offensive to fat people.
right. I
Red-
mean, I don't understand how that
Red
became
people.
a thing anyway. Because what the fuck do pigs have to do with the Redskins? But whatever. But no, the Red Hogs is apparently a front runner, but they're probably not going with that because they don't want the same colors. I think they're a total change.
I think we are explicit, correct?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Okay, I think they should be the Washington Feather, not dots.
We can say that because we are Native American.
That's true. Actually, yeah.
That is true. We are. So
Oh, I'm not.
So you shouldn't
Yeah, why are you
say
laughing?
any of that.
But
You
no.
think you can laugh at it?
No, the Washington LGBTQ plus,
That's right.
just to make
don't
sure.
forget them pansexuals.
That's
You
right.
had to add everybody. Yeah.
Plus minus divisible
Non-binary.
That's
hashtag.
Did you see that Did you see that pedosexual was trying to become involved in that?
What is that? I don't know
Exactly
what that
what it sounds like.
Pedophiles.
Oh my god.
Pedosexual being attracted to a younger. They actually
Yeah.
tried joining in on that.
is. That's a big no.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so no
So it's illegal-
success.
It's just illegal.
Hey,
that's
we didn't think
wrong.
about that. Is that a possibility? Is that in the final list? Washington
The-
pedophiles?
The Washington pedos.
I actually
That's-
thought about it, but on a playoff of
What about
So-
the Washington sniffers? Sniff test.
Ooh.
So the Washington Faucis.
The Washington.
The Washington, yeah, the Washington, yeah.
The
Washington dictator.
Epstein's didn't kill himself.
Ooh.
So
All right, I'm sorry,
when I
Chico.
was real quick, I just have a real quick question for you guys. So when I was running through, thinking of the Red Hogs, and then the Hogs made me think of the Arkansas Razorbacks,
Me too.
and that makes me think of a debate that I've always had. So is it Arkansas or is it Arkansas?
It's our Kansas.
It's
Right. That's what I say. It's Arkansas because if it's Arkansas, then Kansas isn't Kansas. It's Kansas.
no, it's Kansas. Yep.
All right.
Right.
Hey,
So
that's
so
why
why
we're
is-
on the podcast. We're all on the same
Superior.
page.
Why is Missouri
That's the question.
Missouri?
It's not
Well, I'm from Missouri.
How about Louisville? How do you say Louisville?
Louisville.
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 Luis
Louisville.
Vili.
Slugger.
Louisville. You got to take all of the
it's
syllables
like-
out of it. Louisville.
Yeah, it's like New York. New York.
York. It's down in Yonkers.
Son of a bitch.
or Pennsylvania. It's more like
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, isn't that where Dracula's from?
Nope. That's
Transylvania.
Transylvania.
Oh, my bad, guys.
No, that was Dracula if he turned into. I'm sorry. Let's move on. We're going to goatee.
Yep.
Chris,
I'm gonna
you
go
got-
take
You
a
used to
piss.
suck your
But
blood
yeah,
now.
go to goatee.
Yeah.
Say I'm empty, so I'll be back.
Chris, you got this. I got P2. So you got it, Guru. It's all you.
It's
All right, guys, we're all out.
Yeah, it's all you. We got-
Wait, no. Don't go because the opening part of it is involving you guys.
Okay, I'll stay until then. All right. What?
Damn it!
God, jeez. All right, here we go. Chris, you got it. You're throwing it. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back, TFP Nation. We are going a little different route here with Goatee as we carry into week 18. Obviously, fantasy's over here, at least the end of the playoffs there, and he's going to go a little different route here, and it's a route that, quite frankly, we're going to go to next year in our leagues too. So, Goatee. Without further ado, man, what do you got for us this week?
Well, I appreciate the introduction, and I'm going to start off by saying that no, fantasy is never over. Fantasy is never over because you got dynasty leagues, and we're going to talk about them a little bit here in this segment. We're also going to talk about week 18 DFS as well. We haven't really touched on DFS this year. We're focusing on trying to help you win your redraft leagues here, and I hope we did. Hope you guys came away with a title, and hope this podcast helped you get there. If it did, I'd love to hear about it. Tweet at me at Goatee Guru TFP on Twitter. Love to hear from you guys and hear how the podcast helped you be successful. But we're going to do something a little different this week. Like Chris mentioned, the redraft leagues seasons are over, and we're going to take a quick recap of some of the breakouts, some of the busts from 2021, some of the people that made us lose our mind or made us a lot of money. So without further ado, we're going to start with the breakouts of 2021. These are my 5 breakouts. I'm going to give you one per position, excluding kicker. Quarterback breakout, Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals. He's been talked up a lot on this podcast. Joe Burrow, I actually made a trade for him in our league earlier in the year, and it worked out pretty well because with Lamar Jackson going down, I used him quite frequently. But he was a stud. I mean, everybody knew he's talented, number 1 pick, got a lot of weapons there, and if they can protect him, this guy's going to be a really good quarterback for a long time, not only on the field but in fantasy. At the running back position, you know who's coming, and no, it's not Jonathan Taylor because I don't consider him a breakout. That guy was should have been a top 6 pick in your drafts. DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, baby.
DeAndre Swift, prior to the injury, was a stud. Man was balling, and I expect that to continue regardless of who's under center next year. They're gonna use him very frequently. We saw Amon-Ra St. Brown step forward, and he's going to be a factor going forward, I believe. But DeAndre Swift, that offense is going to roll through him. Wide receiver, there's nobody else I could put in this spot. Cooper Kupp, what else do you say about him? The guy went wild this year and has a chance to, like Hollywood mentioned in his segment, or actually maybe not in this segment, it might have been prior to that, but Cooper Kupp, in the Survivor picks, has a chance to break multiple records. So incredible season by him, and that's going to continue as long as Stafford's there. Tight end, Dawson Knox, Buffalo Bills. Dawson Knox came out of nowhere, really. I mean, he played a little last year, didn't really hear much from him, didn't expect to hear much from him this year, and he was an absolute beast prior to that hand injury. Came back, got back on track for a little while, and then fell off. But overall in the season, incredible breakout. And then at the defense, special teams position, breakout of 2021, the Dallas Cowboys went from being one of the worst fantasy defenses to the best fantasy defense this year. And a lot of it can be attributed to Dan Quinn's scheme and his teachings, but a lot of it was not only turnovers, but turnovers that resulted in touchdowns. So that's going to take me to the busts of 2021, one per position. I'm going to go do this a little backwards. We're going to start with the defense, special teams position. A defense that I think most people expected a lot more from was the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, I know they got riddled with injuries, but they were a poor fantasy defense this year.
They were terrible.
Really expected a lot more from them. Tight end, Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee was talked up as being kind of like that second, maybe third tier tight end in fantasy in pre-draft discussion, and you probably overdrafted him. Higbee didn't do much this year, and we've seen that over time. Probably should have seen it coming. Stafford's not really a tight end guy. He's never really relied on the tight end much. So I guess we probably should have forecasted that a little bit better, but that was a common theme. Tyler Higbee going a little too early. Number 3, nobody else in this picture, in my opinion, Allen Robinson. That guy, he was probably your running back, your wide receiver 2, maybe even your wide receiver 1 on your team, maybe in deeper leagues. And he did nothing for you. So really feel bad for the guys that took a shot on him. Number 2, running back, hurts my heart a little bit. Miles Sanders played well, but didn't score touchdowns. And ultimately, that's where you get your points, right? So I have to put him in the bust category. He was probably drafted to be a running back too. And finally, at the quarterback position, Baker Mayfield. I know he's riddled with injuries this year, but that was rough. It was rough. He finished, I believe, quarterback 24 this year. That's not so good. So those are my breakouts and busts of 21. I could have thrown some other names in there, but some of the guys that just jumped off the page to me. I'm just kind of curious. So what you guys got going on?
Mine, I chose for my best. I did 3 best, 3 bust. And for the best, obviously, I just did quarterback, running back, wide receiver, one of each. Quarterback, Josh Allen. The dude did exactly what you would expect Josh Allen to do. You know, you draft him, he's a start every week, and he should have been. He was a stud. Running back, Jonathan Taylor. That was a given, right? Like we all knew that. That was.
I got him in round 2 of our draft, guys, and I
he's-
picked second in a 12-team league. So I
He's
picked him at
unbelievable.
pick number 23.
Unreal. But anyways, that won't happen again. I promise you that. And then wide receiver, Cooper Kupp. Dude's a stud. We knew that. Bust. I'm going to go with quarterback and then wide receiver and then running back. Quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. I expected more out of him. I didn't expect him to be amazing, but I did expect more than what he did this year.
So you expected him to be a fantasy starter.
I expected him to be a potential fantasy starter, kind of a decision every week on if you wanted to play him or not.
So like a QB2 type of guy.
Yeah, right.
Like a
right.
fringe,
So
a fringe QB1. Yeah.
I had him. I actually drafted him and dropped him relatively quickly because he just never seemed to figure it out or could do it consistently. Wide receiver, Jarvis Landry. I think he had one touchdown this year, I think.
So one thing about Landry, and yeah, I mean, he could qualify for the bus category. There's a couple of factors. One, he was injured. Two, Baker Mayfield did not play well. I guess there's a third factor too. Landry's never been a touchdown scorer throughout his career. He's always been a high volume reception guy, but he didn't score a lot of touchdowns.
Regardless, he didn't do what he normally does this year.
That's fair.
In previous. So I mean, even him being high volume guy, he didn't perform with what he was given, like nothing. So I had him in my bust. And then running back, I had Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley as my bust. And I don't necessarily just blame him. His offensive line sucks, but Christopher Michael he can attest because we've watched the games together. Every time I watched him run this year, it frustrated me because he just could not get to a north-south, and with that offensive line, he didn't have time to kind of bounce around, and it showed fantasy fantasy wise. He was not the Saquon that he has been, and I think he will be. But yeah, I was disappointed with him watching him and in fantasy.
I gotta say, I mean, the offensive line, like they did not help him at all. I I think 1 year removed from the injury definitely plays a part, but that offensive line, yeah, that was the major factor in my opinion. Anybody else got anything?
So I've got a couple, but I really quick want to just throw out that you mentioned Cooper Cup, right? A boom. Uh, yeah, but I think he's pretty good. So I think that was a given. But Swift, did anyone have Swift on their fantasy team that helped them being a boom? Did
I think so.
Yeah.
I in one of my leagues I had McCaffrey and Swift as my 2 running backs.
and
So McCaffrey goes down. I have Swift to kind of keep me up there for a little while, and then he went down. And so
and then also Knox. I think he was a boom, right? Did anyone else in our fantasy league have him that
So
kind of maybe finished it?
so
Anyway,
Swift boomed right to last place,
you're right,
and
exactly.
Knox boomed all the way to a 7th place finish.
Right,
So
exactly. So I've got a couple here that I just threw together real quick because when you sent us the message that you were going to do bust, I kind of searched some other stuff up but I can throw
Unsurprised.
something together. So my first boom. So and I went with guys that I had on my fantasy team or that kind of helped me, do better than I probably should have. My first one is Cordell Patterson. I felt like he did really well. He was a waiver ad. He wasn't even drafted, right?
he was
Deontay,
my waiver ad and traded to you.
exactly, and I was very appreciative of that. Deontay Johnson is another one. I feel like that's kind of in the Cooper Cup category though, because again, he's expected to do well, but I mean, he was consistent for me, and it was nice because I had DK Metcalf as well, who's a really good fantasy player, but Deontay Johnson was the consistent wide receiver in my lineup. And then I don't know if he qualifies as a boom, but I'm going to throw in J.D. McKissick because as a flex option, when you have a back that can catch, out of the backfield like he did, before the injury, he was a stud. And then a couple booms that I have. The first one is, again, I can't believe I got to say this, but Hall of Famer, pick him up off the waiver. He puts up 0 points for me, and I ended up dropping him after 1 week.
I
Kind of
did
ridiculous.
tell you to sit him that week.
I know. I expected more. That's on me. My tight end bust is Noah Fant. I really thought he was going to put up consistent numbers, and he had some pretty good games, but it was just, I think poor quarterback play just hurt him, and he just didn't put up the numbers until I sat him, and then it seemed like he had those good games. And then Daniel Jones.
He's a ride the wave guy.
Right. And then Daniel Jones, that dude was a bum. He only went over 20 points as a quarterback 3 times, which is less than Zach Wilson, Tyler Heineke, Jared Goff, Teddy Bridgewater, and Davis Mills.
Well,
just to name a few.
Hey, just so you know, he went over. What'd you say? 3 times he went over 20.
He went over 23 times.
Okay, so Trey Lance started 2 games and played a half of another game, and he had 2 over 20.
I did see that. I almost put that as a mention in there, but I'm glad you. I figured you would have that stat.
All right. Well, yeah, I think we covered quite a few people there, and definitely.
I got
guys.
one.
Oh, he's got one. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I got one. Amari frickin' Cooper. bust this year. He had what, like 2 good weeks? Other than
He
that, I don't even,
struggled with some injuries.
oh, boo freaking who? Get on the field and
And
catch
I
a damn
tell
ball.
you
That's
what,
you get paid for, bud.
well, CeeDee Lamb was tearing it up at the beginning of the year, and then when Michael Gallup came back, it seemed like Gallup kind of became the lead dog. So,
Yeah.
Cooper kind
Well,
of just fell by the
Gallup wasn't
wayside.
there this past week, and look what happened. Not a goddamn thing.
Well, anyway, yes, I agree. But we covered a lot of people, a lot of guys that broke our hearts, a lot of guys that made us very happy. So it's going to take me into the second section here in my segment, and this is for the guys that are still going, that are still playing Dynasty League trade targets. Dynasty League trade targets. I'm going to give you real quick. I'm not going to go too much into detail on these guys. Just 15 off the cuff here. All right. 15 guys that you should be looking at trying to make a deal for if you are a rebuilding team in Dynasty League. Number one, I'm going to go in order from quarterback down to tight end. Number one, quarterback, Trey Lance. Quarterback, Jordan Love. If those two are out there on teams that have solid quarterbacks ahead of them, try to snatch them away. Especially Trey Lance with his usage of his legs. That's going to come into play a lot down the stretch next year. And I think you're going to see some big numbers. You saw it just this year in his 2 starts, 2.5 games he played. He had, like I mentioned, over 20 points twice. So if they're out there, go grab them. Running backs, Michael Carter of the New York Jets, Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, and Travis Etienne, all first-round picks, or not necessarily first-round picks, but high draft picks, first-round picks likely in a dynasty league. And these guys all got injured. So if they're out there, one, the owners may have kind of forgotten them, may have lost, some value on them. And if they're out there, those guys have the chance to be studs when they come back. Also, running back position a little bit deeper, Kenneth Gainwell from the Philadelphia Eagles. If he's out there, I would try to snatch him up. I don't expect Boston Scott to stick around too much longer in Philly, and Gainwell is especially good in the passing game. Wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brandon Ayuk, Rashad Bateman, Kadarius Toney, Rondale Moore, and Diami Brown. If any of those guys are out there, I would go try to grab them. Those are future wide receiver 1 and 2s on your team. Get them while they're still slightly lower value. And then finally with the tight end position, Irv Smith Jr. from the Minnesota Vikings. People are going to forget about him with the injury, and Tyler Conklin coming alive. And Brevin Jordan from the Houston Texans. Sneaky pickup if you can get him, and I'm sure he might not even be on a roster. You might just be able to pick him up off the waivers, but I would stash him because the quarterback play is going to improve in Houston likely as soon as next year. And then the last segment we're going to do, and I just introduced this week, we'll cover it a lot more next year, but is the DFS plays of the week. Number 1, David Montgomery. He is 6,800 on DraftKings. He's 7,600 on FanDuel. In 4 career starts against the Vikings, he's averaged over 100 yards from scrimmage, and that's fairly cheap for a running back this week. I would take it. Number 2, easy one, Cooper Kupp. I mentioned the Niners corners; they're a weakness. Kupp had a big game in Week 10, 11 catches, 122 yards, no touchdowns, but he's 9,700 on DraftKings, 10,000 on FanDuel. Cooper Kupp, give it a go. Jonathan Taylor, 9,300 on DraftKings, 10,200 on FanDuel. He's playing against the Jaguars. I don't think I need to say any more about that. If you're going to spend on a running back, he's your guy. He will get in the end zone at least once for you, maybe twice. I expect a big day from him. And those are my top 3 plays of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this new segment. We're going to kind of change it up going forward with the fantasy season over. We're going to take a look into some of the off-season strategy for dynasty leagues. We're going to look at some of the NFL draft buildup and some guys to target next season as the year goes on.
And well done, Guru. Fantasy season never over, like you said, continuously going on. So we look forward to hearing from you week in and week out. Right? What is that the right saying? I don't know, but hearing from you weekly. We are going to go to a short break, come back, and we're going to, scratch that itch that you just need. You just need scratching. Betting, sports betting. That's what we're going to do. Sports betting with Brandon Lee. He's got a lot for you after this. Dude, did she?
Good for her.
You were speeding me up. I was only at like 20 minutes.
What's that?
I feel bad for her. She's not walking right for a long time.
You are.
Your segment has been kept to 20 minutes because otherwise we run way too long. We've capped at like 20 minutes each segment.
Okay. Again, it doesn't really matter how long the entire clip is, because if you watch it on here, it's like 2.5 hours.
Well, exactly why we're clipping it, though. We're clipping each segment into other videos.
All right, I'm gonna go tinkle, tinkle.
Tinkle, tinkle.
Well, now that he saw that,
That's right. Yeah. We'll be back.
So you said that's Tito's?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Tito's and then limeade, because lemonade to me is a little too.
Gotcha.
Like
You don't get heartburn. You get heartburn?
Yes.
That doesn't give it to you?
Very much so.
Oh, it does? Okay, all right.
He just deals with it. Brandon,
yeah, that's why I have Tums.
how many bets do you have, B? Because
I have 6.
This is getting lengthy.
I feel like we're doing pretty good.
We're doing well. It's for YouTube, but when we go podcast, this is going to be probably one of our longest episodes.
What are we at now?
An hour and a half.
Are we really?
Yeah. Everybody is from our intro is usually around 15 minutes long. That was 17. And then Hollywood is usually around 14 to 15 minutes long. His was about 20. No, he was 17. And then, or I'm sorry, that was Game of the Weeks. Game of the Week, or no, it wasn't. Sorry. Pick'ems. Pick'ems is usually like 10 minutes. That was 17. Hollywood is usually around 14 to 15. His was 20. Jordan's is usually around 20. It was 20. And then now we have yours.
Are you going to pick games, Josh? Did you actually pick every game?
I have them written out. I'm just going to literally list them off.
Good. That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
I have them written down right now. But yeah.
We don't need him to start.
I was going to say, we can get this going if you want. Okay. Chris, do you want to introduce him?
Sure.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, TFP. Like my host just put it, we are going to try to scratch whatever itch you might have in Week 18 with Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee, what do you have for us this week?
I'm itchy.
Well, maybe not that. I don't want that. I'll stay on that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's right. We're on to the bets. All right. Well, last week of the season, we're sitting at 77% on the year. I've got 6 bets for you this week. We're either going to kill this percentage or we're going to hit it, but I'm liking these bets. So I'll get right into it. First bet, I'm going Green Bay Packers -2.5. The line is low because I believe they're sitting a lot of their starters this week. They already have the number 1 seed locked up. so there's no reason to put him out there. Although I do think Rodgers is out there, and Adams as well. I'm not sure about Jones though. Either way, I don't see Detroit coming through on this one. I mean, even if we're going to try to play spoilers, they can't. There's nothing to spoil. Their Packers are already at the top. So I just see Detroit trying to limp their way through this game and get done with the season. So take Green Bay at -2.5. Second one, I'm going with the Vikings, also -2.5. This one, though, does make me nervous because, I mean, assuming that Kirk Cousins comes back, he was only on the COVID list last week. That's why he missed. Assuming he comes back, I think this is one that you should take. If he's not there, probably one to stay away from. The Bears have been playing more competitively lately. So, they might put up a fight, but the only thing that keeps me nervous about this is monitoring Kirk Cousins' status. Bet number 3, I mean, we talked about it earlier. I'm taking them as the win this week anyway in Survivor. I'm going to take the Colts money line. I like the spread. I just think it's a little too high for them to cover, and I think it's not high enough for Jacksonville to cover, if that makes sense. It's kind of that in-between where I don't really like it. Jags aren't good. Colts are pretty good. And if they win, they're in. Like, that's it. They're sitting at 9-7 right now. So I don't think 9 wins is going to do it unless you're the Steelers with that tie. So 9 wins, not going to do it. 10's going to make it in. Colts are going to have to win this game in order to make a playoff spot. I think it's a low payout, that's for sure. But I think if you're that person who is a easy guaranteed money type of bettor, I think this is your game. Throw a high wager, take the cash. Number 4, I'm going to go with the football team. They are, at this point in time at least, they're sitting at -6.5. And the Giants, they proved to me last week that they don't care about wins anymore. They're looking at the draft. So they needed a higher pick. In order to get a higher pick, they had to lose to the Bears. They lost to the Bears. So Washington's sitting at 6-10. They're not really gonna get anywhere near the top of the draft, and they're definitely not making the playoffs. So they're kind of playing for pride right now, kind of seeing, what they have for young talent and where they might get to for next year. So I would look at that spread at -6.5. I think they'll cover that against the Giants. But if you're not feeling good about the spread, you got to take the money line. I don't think the Giants are playing for any pride right now. They're playing for draft. This next one, one you really have to watch, because this morning I still felt good about them. I was going to take the Bengals at -3. Look around 1 o'clock that Joe Mixon is out. He's not going to be in this week. Okay, Joe Mixon's out. Spread jumped to Cincinnati +6 already.
Burrow's
so
out
keep your
too.
eyes on this spread. I'm sorry?
Joe Burrow's out too.
Okay, Joe Burrow's out too. Was that his leg? I didn't see that pop up.
Yeah, he's expected to sit this week.
It's probably a safety thing. But either way, Cincinnati is going, like, they still have a chance to get the top seed. So I expect them to be competitive. At +6, with or without Burrow, with or without Joe Mixon, I think the team is capable to cover that. We'll see. The Browns, they're eliminated from playoffs. So what do they have to play for? They could try, spoiler, I guess, and just spoil that the Bengals don't get the 1 seed. That's it. So I don't know. I think with this, I was going to say, before you said that there, Guru, I was going to say with Joe Burrow in the locker room, puffing on that cigar, doing his happy dance, you kind of have to go with him. But if he's not in there, keep an eye on the spread. That would make sense why it jumped up so high. But +6, I'd still go with him for right now. And lastly, This one pains me a little. 49ers +4. I don't know if they necessarily win. I think they do. I think they'd knock down the Rams, right? But being that they're being given 4 points to start the game, I think that might be the way to go. Whether Jimmy G's in there or Trey Lance, I think I'm taking the Niners at +4. That's really all I have this week. I don't know if you guys saw any spreads you like or have any questions, but yeah, those are my 6 this week. Like I said, keep an eye on the Cincy game and keep an eye on Kirk Cousins.
There you go.
I'll probably take most of them, but not all of them because I'm gonna get every game right
Oh, jeez.
this week, and first of all, win, right, and secondly, rub it in your faces.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna allow this, right, guys? I guess we're gonna allow him to pick every game, right? All right.
Yeah, I guess we'll give them a chance. I guess
All
Okay,
right.
I'm just gonna give you winners. I'm not even gonna give you who they're playing. I'm just giving you winners. Okay. So, Chris, are you writing this down? Are you ready? Okay. I got Kansas City Chiefs. Boom, win it. Doesn't matter if they're who's playing, who's not. They're in. Dallas Cowboys. Browns. Blue. Vikings. Washington football team. Colts. Steelers. Titans. Saints. Bills. San Francisco. Pats. Cardinals. Tampa Bay. And the Chargers. Book it.
Christopher Michael, can you type that fast?
I actually think I got him.
Nice.
It's
I
impressive.
actually think I got him.
Impressive.
No, they're not spelled correctly, but I got them.
I didn't even know Joshua Dean could talk that fast, to be honest with you.
No, he started off at a good pace, and then he went haywire there
I mean,
for a
do
minute.
you want me to go back? You want me to say it again?
So
I believe he took the Kraken. He took
Right.
the Scranton Rail.
But anyways,
okay.
yeah, they're all winners. They're all winners. Game of the weeks, boys. Game of the week picks. Who's got it?
Yeah, sure. I'll start. Thanks.
There you go.
I'm going with the Los Angeles Chargers against the Vegas Raiders. Both teams. This is a playoff game for them. They win, they're in. They lose, they're out. The only way both teams make it is if
Jacksonville.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, if Jacksonville wins and they both tie. So they are the last game, though. So if Jacksonville wins, I mean, they could just agree to tie, and then they're both in the playoffs. But I don't see that happening. So, yeah, that's the game I'll be watching. That's a playoff game already.
Yeah, for me, I got to go with the Niners and Rams. The Rams have a chance to clinch the division. 49ers win and they're in situation. Even beyond that, the playoff implications. The Rams have lost 5 straight to the Niners, and I am curious to see who's going to start at quarterback. I expect Jimmy to go if he's healthy, but we'll see.
I'm interested in the Dallas-Philly game. 2 teams I just despise, right? But 2, which seems like they're, probably playoff teams. But I think Philly has a chance to not make the playoffs, right? Am I right on that? So then I would, unfortunately,
Philly would need to lose, and the Niners and the Saints would both need to win.
Both would win. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. Well, I don't like either one of them. So I think I want Philly to lose just so maybe they don't make the playoffs, right? Because Dallas can't lock. They're not going to be a home team. They're not going to be the 1 seed, right? Because they lost last week. So
Pretty sure Philly clinched a spot already.
So
That's what I was thinking too.
Did
I think
Philly clinch?
already clinched. Yeah.
okay, I thought that's what I thought I heard.
How did Philly clinch if they're?
There's a lot of teams that lost that needed to.
Oh,
Yeah.
Philly's 9-7. You're right.
Yeah.
So Philly, Yeah, that's the stupidest thing. By the way, sorry to go off a little bit, but that's the stupidest thing. The 49ers are behind Philly in the standings. Currently the 7 seed, Philly's the 6 seed because of conference record. Same kind of thing Hollywood was talking about in fantasy. We beat them head to head in week 2. But
Right.
yeah, they're ahead of us because they have better conference standings, conference record. I hate that.
I hear you playing a small fiddle. That's all I'm saying.
Well, then I'm changing it to the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game. I don't need to explain.
So I might be the only person in this camp, but I mean, obviously, I'm excited to watch the Cardinal Seahawks game because I really really want Seattle to take down the Cards. But am I the only person in the camp that really wants to see the Charger Raider game where they've both clinched spots so that game doesn't matter and just watch them just take knees the entire game? Like I would,
I would be interested actually.
yeah, I kind of want to see that.
What if they just didn't step on the field, right? So they decided, we're just not going to play the
I
game.
think that's a forfeit for both.
So they both lose and they don't make the playoffs. Is that how that would work?
I don't know if that's actually true.
Oh man, we
screwed up.
should have read the rules.
Well, there you go.
Well, their whole team, they're gonna. That's what they'll do. They'll call a tie because their whole team came down with COVID.
That's right. That's right.
The on Sunday, the Chicago Bulls versus the Dallas Mavericks. That 25-10 record Bulls going against the 20-18 Mavericks. I like the looks of the Bulls in that one.
Yeah.
But that's what I will be watching come Sunday because I don't care about football anymore. I'm over it, and I don't want to eat a hot chip.
Sounds
So,
like
It's too bad. You're eating one.
so that's all I got. That'll do it, ladies and gentlemen, for our Week 18 edition of the Fantasizers podcast. Boys, it's been a pleasure. Claps around.
Rest in peace to Betty White and John Madden.
Yes, rest in peace to two legends, and also
An icon.
also a little bit nervous because they say that they whenever a tragic loss like something like this, it happens in threes. So that actually might be a talk about next week. Who is the third? Anybody? Is that too dark? That might be
Let's
too
go,
dark.
Tony Romo.
I believe
Hollywood.
it was the listeners of Hollywood's Corner earlier.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, that's going to do it. Make sure you follow our social medias on Twitter, which will be in the link of this video and in the bio of this week's episode, as well as shoot over to YouTube, and you will find us at TFP Nation. Those videos will be up.
No spaces.
Yeah, sorry, no spaces. They'll be up probably tomorrow morning or afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure as it always is, and goodbye.
Adios.
You good?
Boom.
Wow, I really just BS the shit out of that.
So, real quick, going back to the segment, the boom bust segment, you guys mentioned Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
3 running backs that I think are pretty much done in the NFL. They might have one more good year. Saquon Barkley is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Zeke Elliott and Christian McCaffrey.
Elliott's done, man. He's done.
I'll definitely agree on Zeke. I think Saquon's still got a little gas. He just needs a line. And McCaffrey, I don't think he was actually injured.
But when McCaffrey,
Second time, I think he shut it down because he knew they were going nowhere.
yeah, that's true. But when McCaffrey played, he still played really well.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he re-aggravated the injury as bad. I think it was just this season's a lost season. I'm not 100%. Let's just shut it down and come back next year.
So, but Saquon, you're saying that you think he's going to be good to go. Give me the last season he played a full season without injury.
Okay,
I don't
Penn
even.
State?
he's had some fluke injuries with like stepping on a foot and things like that. But but if you watch him, he still has juice. He just has no holes to run through, and he's getting hit in the backfield as the ball's getting handed to him. So just watching him, if you can, all you got to do is just get a little bit of a push off the line to where he's not getting hit as soon as he's getting to the line of scrimmage, and he still can rip them off. You saw it. He was ripping off 30, 40-yard gains when he actually got some blocking.
How
Here
close?
we
No,
are.
How close
I'm not
is he?
saying it's. I'm not saying it's
How close
on
is-
him. I'm saying. I mean, I don't see that line getting fixed in the offseason.
Yeah, it actually might.
No,
The
look-
best thing that could happen for Saquon is they hopefully don't pick up his 5th-year option and he goes somewhere else, because
That's what I was just going to say. How close is he getting to that 5th-year option? And do you actually pay him if you're a Giant? Or if you are in the Giants management?
he was drafted. Actually, they would have already had to pick it up, I believe, because he was drafted the same year that the Niners got McGlinchey. And McGlinchey, we picked up his 5th-year option this past offseason. So he's in year 4 right now, if that's the case, right?
Well, okay, so even still, saying that they did pick up the 5th-year option, do you extend him as Giants front office, right? Do you actually extend him, or do you let him walk in free agency? Because Saquon's looking at that offensive line like, yeah, let me out of here.
Well,
At the same time,
Saquon doesn't, because of the offensive line and because of the injuries, doesn't have a lot of leg to stand on as far as pay, his salary. So if I was him, I would go sign a 1-year prove it deal with somebody
right?
that has a really good offensive line and just blow up and then go make my money after that. Like I'm trying to think, somebody like
Willis.
well,
Marshawn Lynch.
Cleveland's got a great line, but you're not going to go there and play over Chubb. So a line like most of the teams that have really good lines have running backs.
Like I said, Dallas is the only one. I mean, they have Tony Pollard, I guess.
Actually, you know where he should go? Honestly, he would, and it makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because they're going to add a lot of pieces. They have a lot of cap, and they have a good offensive line when it's healthy. He should go to the Jets. That was his favorite team growing up. He was a Jets fan, and he could actually, revive his career there. Le'Veon Bell didn't revive his career there because, 1, they didn't have a line at the time. 2, they had no weapons, and 3, that Le'Veon was done. Like he was juiced out at that point.
Yeah. I mean, the shelf life for running backs, as we know, is small. And, yeah, I'm just glad that, like, my team's not in the Cowboys camp where they got 4 years left to Zeke on that big contract he signed, and you've got a back behind him in Pollard that's just playing
Who's
better.
Yeah.
What about that's the team I was just thinking of. I literally just had a team that I was thinking of that was going to be perfect for a running back, and I'm blanking now.
Were they in the NFL?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
It was.
What about Denver?
Well, Denver, but they got Javonte Williams. It was actually the Houston Texans, because the Houston Texans actually do have a decent offensive line. Decent, not great, decent. And Rex Burkhead is having success in that offense. You put Saquon Barkley back there.
For all of us tuning in to our YouTube exclusive, we have come to the end of our shenanigans. So we are going to see you all next week. Hopefully here again on YouTube. But don't forget to give it a listen as well in your car, a car ride, at our podcast. So
On
just double it.
Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, just double it up. Just double it up, man. Party Pete, dude. Shout out. Not happy about the chip. I'm really not. But
Next
I don't
week.
know. Look forward to
You're-
hear from you.
You're my boy, Pete.
Yeah, you're my boy, Pete. Let's talk about maybe getting Party Pete in on a call here. Maybe he can come in and provide some insight. Maybe next week or the week after. Let's get his insight. See if he can join the Fantasizers phone call. That'll do it. We'll see you all next week.